Alright, let's start doing this Last of Us 2 Part 3. I actually skipped a little bit of gameplay because I had like some 45 minutes of game time a couple of days ago, so to be honest, didn't really feel like streaming because it was a
You get the
quite a
generator.
short
Remember the
session,
code?
and in
The
essence
one
it
breaking
means
the
that
door?
I only
Yeah.
scavenged some optional parts from the game and really didn't get much of the storyline going, so it won't mean much that if you missed that earlier sessions because it wasn't much of a deal story-wise. But anyway, welcome to the stream anyway of The Last of Us 2 and see how it goes.
Got it.
Probably some 3 to 4 hours today, which I'm gonna spend here
Question though.
with this
Where does this
great
take
quality
us?
time. And once again, just let me know if the comment section is working because sometimes it's not. Sometimes
Maybe
people
somewhere
just
high up so we
post
can scope out the area.
stuff
I like that
and
idea. Okay. Let's look for an open building.
not exactly working.
Preferably with no infected. Or WLF. Wolves. Whatever. I still have some of those almond
Whatever.
left if you're hungry.
Sometimes these
Not really.
teens are so
You should
edgy,
eat something. Oh my
or
god.
at least.
What? I sounded like my mom.
Hello,
just now.
Count Crickmoon. Thank you for doing
I'll be
that.
fine.
Sometimes those comments really don't pop up on the screen, even though people do post. Well, that was surprising.
Don't lose her! Go!
You know, been watching a lot of Black Mirror on Netflix and then playing this game. Everything is so much full of dystopia.
Didn't think I'd ever see you again. How'd you find us?
Gotta say, I've liked the characters so far.
It's funny.
I mean, it's not like they all are great people,
How many came with you?
but then again, I am the type
Just you two?
of
You can't
gamer
stop this.
and movie fan who likes
Jordan.
nasty characters, maybe even more than nice
Yeah, looking
guys.
for the other one. The fuck is this?
Can I do a
Smuggled
shout
that
out
we
to
killed
Boo Boo
Alan
Guy?
Jackson?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Hello, Boo Boo Guy.
This girl was there.
What?
They're coming after us. That's why Nick was fucked up like that. We gotta get her to Isaac. We gotta tell him exactly what's going on.
Yeah, well, I just got off the radio with Isaac. And we got a new mandate. Kill all trespassers.
Oh, hold up. That doesn't make any sense.
Direct order, man.
No, let's talk to her. Let's figure out what she knows.
I don't give a fuck what she knows. You saw what she did to the others?
You have no idea how many people she might be with. This might be an ambush,
I don't care
Mike.
how many people she's with. We will find them and we'll kill them.
Can you just think for yourself for a quick
Jordan,
second
get the
right
fuck
now?
out of
Can
my
you-
way.
Gotta say, this music is even better than with the first game.
Come here.
Well, it seems Abby is a bodybuilder woman. And to be honest, I've seen bigger women in real life. Or at least stronger. You know, the thing with which some people don't get it, that in order to make good drama, you have to have nasty characters.
Ellie.
You have to have
Ellie.
nasty
We should go.
story
Somebody
plots.
would've heard
You
the
have to
gunshots.
kill essential people.
Look.
You have to have
She's one of them.
assholes.
Come on.
If everybody is
Look at
just
that lady.
black and white,
Is there a TV station
nice
on that map?
or
I don't fucking know.
shitheads, it won't
Come
be
on.
much of a drama.
Look, Ellie.
Well, let's just say that I train at the gym where there is a world-class powerlifter woman, and she's more manly than so many of the guys I know. Most guys. But not saying that she isn't female, you know? She's just goddamn strong and muscular.
Let's go.
To be honest, so far
How many
I
guys did you see?
really haven't been
Enough.
seeing any kind
Gotta
of
get the hell out of here.
feminism pushing. I think it might be different, you know, from American perspective. But really, I haven't seen the agenda people have been saying there is in the game. So maybe it is there, I don't know, but I really haven't had any kind of issue. I haven't really seen that I've been forced to deal with certain kind of agenda here. To be mostly, I've seen a story about human beings and survival, and also a lot of things which were present with the movie 28 days later. That is essentially the humans or man's or whatever people's worst enemy, let's just say it this way, is other people, like Homo homini lupus, which means in essence that people are always like wolves to each other, beasts of prey versus other beasts of prey. There can never be this kind of unity. People will never be totally unified. So it's very pessimistic message, very cynical message, I think, and that is way
Clear the rooms.
way more important message in my opinion than any of these other messages people have been saying.
God damn it!
And hello, Alex. Yes, Gen XL. Yes, it is kind of a hateable because we really like to be.
You got it!
We really like to be beyond that, but we are not. And I think that is, in my opinion, that is the problem with people, you know? We are against each other. And I'm not gonna say it's necessarily a bad thing. It is what it is. It's a biological thing. And I think that is, in my opinion anyway, the message that is going on here.
Go around! Get to your side!
Yes, man is the animal. We really can't change that. We are essentially beasts. Beasts with brains, maybe. But still, I think that's really what's going on. We are mean, predatory beings. So, like I said, there's a lot of pessimism going on with the game. And even more than beyond any kind of, I don't know, feministic message or agenda or lesbian agenda, whatever. I think that's all kind of a bullshit compared that in essence we are just, you know, beasts after one another, you know. And in my opinion, these main characters, they are not really that nice people. They're survivors, so they kill a lot of other people. They might have some good ideas, but then again, who doesn't think they have the good ideas? I mean, if you ask, I don't know, an extreme Muslim or an ISIS fighter, like, are you fighting for a good cause or a bad cause? Do you think they will say, yeah, we're fighting for the bad cause? Fucking way. I mean, doesn't matter if you're Christian or normal people, average Joe on the street. Everybody is being the good guy, the rightfully thinking guy, you know? So, there's nobody is willing to say they're bad guys, except for black metal heads, who are already like, yo, hail Satan, we are the Antichrist. They are like the only ones, maybe along with some psychopaths, who are really okay to just say that we are bad guys. But in general, not even the worst crusaders or, I don't know, any kind of side of war. Nobody's saying, hey, we are the wrongdoers here. Everybody's just fighting for their own cause and saying like, we are the real deal. We are the right ones here. So what's going on with this Joker city? If that's an isolated town and the highest murder rate, what is going on with you? And personally, I think all these kind of so-called hate or dislike towards any given city is based on their people's own values. For example, this "I love Israel" thing. I know it's sarcasm, but I don't know what Cosmic, for example, thinks about the world. How he perceives our morals and views of the world. But let's say he thinks Israel is full of shit. And that is because his agenda is in direct or indirect opposite of what Israeli people is doing. I don't know if Satanism is subversive. I really don't know. Well, feel free to tell me an anecdote about the city, if you have one.
Where's shots come from?
I don't know. Search the courtyard. You, hold the cafeteria. I'll cover here.
Right.
Hello, Brutal Dozer. I gotta say, you have a cool name.
Oh, God! Ambush! Ambush!
Holy shit! Alan!
So what is going on with this limerick? And about Satanism, I mean, it's not like Satanists are like saying they want to be the bad guys. You have to understand that for many people, Satanism is like a peaceful way of dealing with things, not the murderous or hateful way.
Over here!
Ellie!
That's the trespasser!
Above you! She's down.
Well, who says what is false?
We got that! Over here!
And I am now about to die. I've missed some comments, but it is what it is.
Oh, man.
Yeah, indeed, it is a friendly thing. But in general, if you have taken a look, poverty has a lot to do with criminal rating. Because it's not like rich people go for that kind of stuff. I mean, they could be all about...
I got them!
They could be all about, you know, frauds and shit. But you know,
There's a lot of them.
usually,
I told you.
okay, there's a gun, but no ammo, so hell. And in general, you know, take a look at the how criminal things go. Usually, it's people from basically bad neighborhoods, less education, less good job opportunities, corruption, and shit like that. So now do the math. How people end up being criminals. It's because of a potential shit show, or maybe ongoing shit show. So somebody was commenting something like a mixed feeling about the games. Please, please re-say it because I missed it. I mean, to each his own and all that stuff, but I gotta say I have been enjoying this game a lot so far. Because I think it's more balanced now that with the previous games. Both the rhythm between storytelling, exploring, horror, combat, and this kind of a semi-open world thing. Well, it's more appealing to me. And also, obviously, graphics way better. And so far, I think the story has been more touching, so to speak. And people who have been watching the previous part of the stream know why. Because this one key moment when things go a little bit shitty and you start hating one of the characters there. And I think that's a essential part of making an interesting story, you need to have this certain kind of hate and revenge moment. So even though it might feel nasty, and some people might not want to play this game because of this kind of nasty moments, in my opinion, these kind of moments are much needed in order to make the story feel like impactful. You know, Cosmic, is there a day you are not being sarcastic all the way? I mean, I don't mind. I'm just asking because I'm a curious fella. Yeah, the looks of this game is really good. I mean, the story wouldn't be that much of a different thing if uh, in place of this Torah found in a synagogue would have been a Dawkins book found in a library. It would just mean like, okay, this person is an atheist, and she found a book of by Richard Dawkins. It would have been a cool thing, but beyond that, nothing would have been changed. Brutal Dozer, what do you mean? How come you think they didn't understand what made the game great if you don't like it? I mean,
Have a look here.
why? Obviously, it's all the same thing with sequels. I mean, doesn't matter if it's movies,
Fuck these
games, or
guys.
whatever.
Let's
It's
do this.
hard to top what you've done before. It's hard to kind of redo the trick.
Ellie, get down.
Hello?
Where's Adrian?
Hey, you two! Trespasser's gone.
What?
Hello,
You
Chitty.
seen anything?
No.
Cover this roof. I'll check over here.
You sure she's not on the street? Did you look?
How would she get down there?
I don't know. Has this been called in?
Greg went out to Capitol Hill. He should be back with those guys any minute now.
And this is how you waste ammo.
Stay the fuck back!
Well, Brother Loser, I think the Joel part is important.
I think that's
Like
all
I
of
said,
it.
in order to
Guess we'll
make
find
good
out.
drama, you need to stir some shit. So while everybody, I'm sure, everybody just loved Joel. But if you kept going with Joel, well, people would have been saying something like, so you were not brave enough, you were not bold enough to change anything. So I think they made a bold move, and they knew people are gonna get pissed, and that's what I like. But then again, I just happen to be the kind of a game and movie fan who likes when shit happens to people. Be it Game of Thrones, be it the Oz, the TV series about the prison. I mean, you get dozens and dozens cool guys killed, and it makes you annoyed as hell, because it really kind of proves that you cannot just like anybody too much, because they will get killed, and it always makes you feel like you are treading on broken glass. So it's like an opposite of safe space game, which most games about heroes are. I mean, you know that the good guys will always survive, nothing bad will happen to them. And I think it's kind of a boring. Yes, Oz is probably the best TV series ever because it's so fucking brutal with great characters and totally surprising. Yes, Jen, that's exactly what I mean. It's all these layers, something unexpected. Sometimes drama can be about conflict, sure, but not necessarily. I mean, when you do long stories, you have to have events that, you know, are meaningful and have an impact on the characters and whatever. And if you can't just if you can't just expect everything, if there is no surprise element of surprise, I mean, there is no real drama, you know. But doesn't mean obviously that you always have to kill the cool guys or the main characters or anything like that. But it makes a hell of a lot easier to make the story, I don't know, moving or at least stir up some emotions. Well, Alex, that spoon scene is definitely one of the most impactful things, you know. It's like kind of a disgusting. So people who are like butthurt about Game of Thrones because some, because some characters got killed. I mean, they couldn't have lasted what Oz did because Oz was so much more brutal about it. You know, I mean, Game of Thrones compared to that was like a walk in a park. All right, brutal dozer, I get you. Obviously, I can't really comment that far because, I mean, I'm still nowhere near the ending. I'm like, I don't know, maybe some 15, 17% in the game, I guess. So who knows? Maybe I will be disappointed in the end. But so far, I
What about
really,
this?
I really like this game more than
Let's try it.
the previous one, and I liked it a lot. Not GTA 4 lot, GTA 5 or 4 lot, not as much as Red Dead Redemption 2. But then again, there were also people who were disappointed in games like GTA 5 or Red Dead Redemption. So I mean, there is no perfect game.
Come on, inside.
Opinions will always be
Come on.
diverse.
We gotta get away from this school. Now.
There has to be a way down to the streets somewhere.
Yogurting is kind of an in joke. Yeah, brutal dozer. I'm definitely not taking that people commentary about it, like how bad this game can be and blah blah blah. Because I know some people just have a political agenda and they cannot be liking this game because it's not suiting their own personal views and stuff. Oh well, that's. I mean, you really can't always like what you have there to be offered. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, people were like, I don't like the main characters because they're gay girls. And like, is that really all the problem there is to it? I mean, if that's the problem, fuck, you have life so well done. I mean, you don't have real problems if lesbian characters or whatever are the main issue of your gaming experience. So I kind of envy those people. People who don't have real problems have problems when main characters are the wrong type or something like that. But luckily there are lots of games for different kind of people. So people who don't like main characters or certain storyline. They can always play a game without a storyline. Gen X, exactly. Of course we need babies, but I mean there are lots of straight people who don't want to have babies. So, for example, I have quite a few friends who are not into raising a family and whatever. And if I was really cynical about it, I could say you're just, you know, you're just kind of a waste of space because if in our society, if you don't have a function as a kind of a worker unit, even though you pay your taxes and you're not making the next generation, well, what fucking purpose you have here? But I am not that cynical, obviously, because eventually, in the end, I think that this is all meaningless. I mean, in a cosmic level, cosmic
We need to get to the
scale,
street.
we are all just maggots in this globe, drifting in cold, void-like space. So it doesn't matter what we have, what we think about politics, what kind of religion or what kind of gods we have or believe in. They all fucking meaningless. The only meaning they have is if they alter our own lives for the good or for the bad. But I mean, video games, politics, everything is just kind of useless. Bulldozer, I agree with you. And I mean, it's okay to hate some characters. Like I was saying in the previous stream, some people really hated GTA 5's Trevor because Trevor was sort of a sociopath or whatever, torturing people, doing drugs, and just generally being really hateful and hated. And it was a mandatory character to play, whether you like it or not. And about the gay thing here in this game, I don't think I mean it doesn't really matter. It's just flavor. It's what in role playing games we call fluff. And yeah, Brutal Dozer, Trevor is literally every GTA player. I mean, I think it's just mockery, like a spitting image of people playing GTA. You know. And Cosmic, sorry I missed some of your comments. I only saw the rest of them. I was scavenging this stuff here, so I guess I missed something. But yeah, I mean, sometimes people say I'm way too cynical about this and that, and how I'm kind of a nihilist and whatever. And like, maybe I am. Maybe to those people I really am. But I don't really give a shit.
Great.
I mean, I use labels, for example, genres on albums because they help sorting out stuff. It's like going into a library, you know? You need to know whether some book is about facts, like history, or whether it's a crime story, detective story, or whatever.
Jordan,
or maybe it's
got us posted up on a 2-week
about philosophy, or maybe it's a kid's book. Same goes with albums. You need genres. Is it metal? Is it rock? Pop? Jazz? Blues? Who gives a shit? But with peoples, is somebody an extrovert or introvert? Gay? Liberal? Right wing? Like, who gives a shit?
These tall buildings. That way. Okay.
Yes, the gore physics in this game is cool. And yes, cosmic. That's exactly my point. But on a cosmic level, I mean, it doesn't matter if the whole planet called Earth just disappeared. Nothing really in the existence of universe wouldn't really change. I mean, maybe one day humans or humanity will have an impact uh, in universe, but at the moment, I think we're just like a drop in the ocean. So we have all this cool technology, how to kill time, because now we don't have to survive and focus on survival on every fucking minute.
You good?
But I mean, do we really have an
Thought
impact
I was fucked back there.
in cosmos? I don't know.
Thanks for the save, by the way. Of course.
Yeah, maybe a little less going on if Earth just exploded. But would anybody
So,
even
those are the wolves.
notice us
They're really
if
armed.
Earth just exploded?
Yeah, they are. Do you think they were gonna be this
Well,
many
thanks,
of them?
Alex. I try to
Tommy said this was a
focus on the
possibility.
positive sides.
Is
Because
that
in
intimidating
general,
for you?
I am a positive guy and I like positive things. That doesn't mean I don't enjoy negative things. Like I've been saying, I
Keep
like
an eye out for
when
patrols.
the
There were a bunch
games
trying
and
to sneak me out
movies
around
and
here.
TV series,
How many?
books,
I
when
passed
they
two
have
of them.
these negative stories
I got a feeling there were more.
to tell, you know? I like it.
Once they realize we're out of the
It
school,
And
motivates
that we
me.
killed their fucking friends.
they'll be out in force looking for us.
Yeah, Cosmic, but
Can't
who would
believe
care?
they just attacked like that.
These
Would
people are
anything,
not like
anybody
us.
care if we just
What if we've been refugees?
vanished?
What if we, I don't know, had intel they needed?
It doesn't seem like they care about that.
And then nowadays, I think when I read about the world, like how people are making these statues a big problem, how they are tying everything to politics, like rebranding products, because somebody might be offended somewhere. I am thinking that maybe all these dystopic visions in games like The Last of Us or series like Black Mirror, maybe this dystopia isn't exactly that much dystopia versus what we have in reality. Like the reality is kind of a more depressing than any of these, you know, dystopic feelings with the games, the stories, the plot lines. So, in a way, I kind of think that death is actually a kind of a salvation to us. And I don't know why we are torturing here ourselves in this planet, on this planet and in these lives. Then again, we have this biological, say, I don't know what's the proper word in English, but it's kind of a, it dictates that we have to live, we have to survive. We're bound to try to stay alive. So it's like we are hardwired to aim for survival. Berteldozer, exactly. Well, yeah, it's hard to be negative and being creative at the same time. But I have when I ran a blog for about 8 years, I wrote a lot of things from my own personal life. I was very open about shitty things and good things. And it was like an open diary, basically. One thing which I remember writing down, because I still think it's very much true, is that negativity can be fuel for creativity. Well, let's prepare for some conflict. Yeah, life can be really cool. I heard the motherfucker and I still couldn't do something. Like for example, I just bought a new car. Not new, but 2016 BMW. And I don't know if it's worth the money, but fuck, I wanted to have a
Same.
hybrid car or an electric car. So I bought a new car. Because why the fuck not? I mean, sometimes you want some improvements in your life. And now I'm really enjoying my new car. I like how it kind of, speeds up. And I like how it looks, how it feels in my hands and all that shit. It's great. So for example, my life is mostly pure, not a pure enjoyment, but I mean, my life is good. I'm not complaining. And I know there are lots of people with real problems. Maybe not having pure water, not having clean food, not having shelter, maybe having some shitty diseases, cancer, or whatever, MS. A lot of shitty things in life. Me? Well, I got bills to pay. But other than that, I really can't complain. And that's how I know my life is well. I can spend my time playing games like these, streaming you some videos, doing this channel, and all that stuff. But yeah, anger is good energy. For example, when you hit the gym, when you try to make the next good riff for your new album, when you try to make that poem, you gotta bleed some emotions. Maybe you're, I don't know, heartbroken. That makes sometimes a great riff, a great piece of lyrics. Maybe results in some great stuff at the gym. But if everything is just, you know, going nicely, fuck, that doesn't, help a lot. So at least I need some pain and suffering in my life. Maybe in small portions, but still. So there was this saying in the movie called Heat, which I strongly recommend anybody who wants a great story with great characters and great actors. And there was this character played by Al Pacino, probably my favorite actor of all times. And he was basically kind of like saying this line about how he needs to be kind of a he needs that suffering or negativity in order to stay on the edge, stay in shape in a way. I don't recall the exact quote from the movie, but I mean, you can pretty much just Google it up or take a look at IMDb, the Internet Movie Database. So in order to be focused, you sometimes need a little bit of a spike in your life. And exactly, Bulldozer, that's what Buddhism is basically all about. You have to have this suffering. Or actually, I think in Buddhism it said something like that. Pain is mandatory,
Something keeps
suffering
bothering me.
is not.
Why didn't they kill you and Tommy when they had the chance?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Seems
sometimes all this
Maybe
pain,
they're dumb.
fuck up
Maybe.
people for good. Sorry, Marcos, your comment kind of gets cut. Like, even if you don't get the views, there's probably something you are saying. Hey, talk to me, Dina.
What was the name of
Dina.
the girl in the note? The one in the TV station?
So thank you, Marcus. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally,
Was she the one?
I totally like your comment.
Was she the one with the braid?
Nice
No.
compliment.
Only thing I remember about her
Yes,
is the
because
sight
I
of her
mean,
crying over that sadistic fuck's face when I
I'm
sliced her
always
open.
motivated. Be it bad albums, be it mediocre
So,
albums, good
How do you want
albums.
to handle her?
Find out what she knows. Find out where the others are. Go from there.
Music really gets me going.
You gonna ask her why they did it?
Well, thank you, Marcus. It's nice to hear that you like my work.
Any of this jogging memories of stuff Joel said about his past?
Yeah, Bulldozer. I knew. I mean, come on. We have
Okay,
hot
you.
topic. We have
What are the
lesbian
chances
girls,
she
and one of
did
them is
stuff
Jewish.
that you don't know
Like,
about?
oh, your God.
Hi.
Hello, Chesney Hawks.
He wasn't very big on sharing.
So people have these problems. Like, there's
I
an
wonder what Tommy's making of
a
all
main
this.
character who is Jewish. I don't
Probably
like
know more
Jewish.
about all the people
Well,
Troy
boo.
crossed.
Fucking who?
Hmm.
These girls love each other. I'm a straight guy. I know these girls wouldn't suck my dick. Well, boo fucking who? They wouldn't suck your dick because you're a fucking loser. So, I mean, if some incel people have problems with girls who don't like to suck dick, like, dudes, seriously, they're video game characters. You don't get to fuck them anyway. They are video
What are
game
you doing with
characters.
that?
Let me just repeat it. Yeah, Chesney, you're right about we're talking pornography here. No, really. We were talking about negativity being an inspiring tool and all that stuff. And how you can really make negative things to inspire you to do some shit in your life. You know, make the next great person riff because your girlfriend just dumped you for a better looking alpha male. Or maybe because you hate Jewish people, you can really make that as a part of your power plan to make those great next lyrics. I was just talking about how negativity can be a really great friend if you just know how to, you know, channel it. It's all about your channeling skills. So people are really harassing voice actors because they don't like some characters. What the fuck? I think one of the problems with gaming industry is that it's so fucking toxic because the gamers, you know, like they really can't separate the characters from the real people. So it's fucking sad indeed. And yes, Chesney, that was the point of the whole conversation. You know, all great art comes from a little bit of suffering. If you don't have suffering, you will just have Katy Perry music. And don't get me wrong, I love how Katy Perry looks. She has a stunning body and great face and all that stuff, but I really can't stand her music. So maybe Katy Perry needs a little bit of suffering and then she can make some great Cannibal Corpse like music. I mean, Cannibal Corpse kind of music with Katy Perry's face? Wouldn't that be just adorable being? I think we can pretty much agree that Katy Perry is hot. And if you don't think that way, you might have this kind of problem where you don't just have the balls to admit that you're a little bit gay. By the way, I don't have any problem with gay people. I'm just saying that people who don't think Katy Perry is hot are probably gay. Yeah. I have too much hate. And the only reason is this, I really can't have whiskey on this stream today. Why so, you might be asking? Because I have to drive my brand new BMW to the summer cabin where I will be sleeping. Why so? Because there's a bathroom renovation
I'll be back
going
in a
on.
sec.
And as such,
I'll keep watch.
the bedroom is kind of out of use for now. Well, my chat is always about being weird. I guess you don't really get to hear so much about my weird side so much with my reviews and interviews and opinion videos because, you know, you really get the kind of a nicer version or the normal version of Jerry online. But if you were drinking with me a couple of hours in real life, you would be like, Jerry, you're fucking mental, you're a weird guy. And you might end up liking me or disliking me. There's a 50-50 chance. So fuck you too, GD. I know you're joking. And in case you're not, well, fuck me. Well, Chesney, exactly my point. If you really can't tap your suffering and make it into your art, well, it's waste of suffering. Hello, Yoni. Valdemar is a classic drink. I used to drink that horrible, well, it's not exactly horrible, but cheap wine back in the days when I wanted to get just wasted.
Fuck is this? Some kind of bomb?
Oh,
Huh.
trap mine.
Nice craftsmanship.
Well, probably they bitch on Twitter, which seems to be a very big thing in the United States, not so much in Finland, and that's why I don't really use Twitter that much. And maybe you don't know if people like Katy Perry is writing some toxic poems when she needs to vent it out. Or maybe these people are actually happy all the fucking time because they have their dream boyfriend, dream job, dream manager, dream sail polish, dream hair salon, and dream morning breakfast. What the fuck? I don't know. Twitter indeed is bad. I mean, I watch some news sites basically there, but I don't really follow individual people because those individual people on Twitter are mostly uninteresting or assholes, and I don't want to waste my time on following assholes. There are too many assholes in the world, so I really can't waste my precious time on those assholes.
Was it worth it?
Yeah. Pretty good haul.
Yeah, Gen X, I think you just are now officially a boomer. Maybe a young boomer. What was the Nietzsche quote? I really don't remember what was the exactly I said in the video because I made it already a few days ago. And I really can't remember every quotes I make. Yeah, that's my point. Katy Perry is having his dream boyfriend, and they were gonna make dream babies who will be even more super famous and even more good looking. But I have a couple of
Kind of see the building.
Nietzsche
How you want to
quotes
go?
in my head. Maybe like something like,
Let's see.
if things are about to be falling, they also shall be pushed. Oh yeah, did I say about the what doesn't make you stronger? I mean, maybe. 5 years younger than me, so you're a young and handsome fella then.
Wolves. Shit.
Fucking burrito. Second, you know how many times I got food poisoning and why do you think I picked up fishing? I'm getting hungry.
Sorry, what? There was this Nazi comment I couldn't really see. Fight on, brother, or whatever. Sorry, this comment about Nazi brothers and whatever shit. I couldn't read it because the messages were browsing too quickly or scrolling too quickly.
Not a scar. Well, scars are popular. Let's do our job so we can go back and eat, okay?
I would watch my video again for that quote, so I could say, but I'm gaming now, so I really can't. So you can check out the video and just pick the words from that quote, and I will explain. Yeah, I think sometimes people say about these philosophers that, they were so cynical and they were so pessimistic and all that shit. But I disagree. I think they are just misunderstood often. For example, one of my favorite philosopher, German philosopher, uh, for example, the Arthur Schopenhauer, he was seen as a pessimistic philosopher because of things he wrote about life and death and all that stuff. And when I was reading a couple of his books actually, I didn't really find him that pessimistic. Rather, I think he was right on point.
I've got them! In the shop!
I don't think Schopenhauer is that pessimistic.
To the right!
He might have been misanthrope. I don't know. Oh shit! You know what's a bad combo? Being without a shirt, and then you have a leather chair because it's so fucking hot here. So in case you're wondering why my character is doing that, it's because I'm trying to readjust myself here. The one thing what I really liked about Schopenhauer is that he basically explained how there is nothing to worry about death, because it's not really that depressing that life ends.
Here, here! Move up! I got it!
No, fuck me. Fuck me sideways.
Pin her down! I'm on it! They ducked over there!
What's the play here?
The hell they go?
Yeah, I know that he was inspired by Eastern
They can't have gone far.
philosophy. I think same was um, with Nietzsche.
Found them! In here!
Any left? I don't think so.
Luck is the absence of pain. I think that's a good way. One of the coolest quotes was actually from the TV series Billions, where it was said that something like basically like luck is just bad mathematics.
Man, this QZ is huge, right? It's pretty massive.
I think Germans were drawn to philosophy because they were like a really highly civilized culture. I mean, Germans were one of the leading, and they still are one of the leading cultures in Europe. So, I mean, that's usually when a culture is kind of living the kind of golden era. That's when you have the luxury of philosophy. That's when you have the time to focus on things like thinking, things like what's important in life, what is this existence, and all that stuff. I think Germany, I mean, well, obviously it's not exactly technically German because it has been under different names throughout the
Anything in here?
world history,
Just Halloween
like
stuff.
Preus or something like that.
Some
I
of
don't
this
know how
stuff
they're
is funny
pronounced
looking.
actually in English.
I'm not a
Anyway,
fan.
all these different phases, what is now known as Germany, they have been one of the leading parts of mid Europe. I mean, not obviously the same, not as early as Romans and Greeks, but still. Prussia, exactly. I don't know how it's said. Prussia? Prussia? Yes, gyro, yeah. But I mean, Greek, or, well, Greece, also had their times of war and shit. But it was also, they also had these philosophers because they were living the kind of a golden era. Well, that's just me saying. I don't claim it to be true. It's just maybe my opinion or something.
It's this way.
Maybe the Greeks' greater learning is that when you diddle with young boys, it gives you great ideas. You know, maybe all that ass fucking actually inspired them to think. There's a great quote from the TV series Wire about Greeks, how they invented philosophy and ass fucking. Another great TV series with great script and great characters. See how conditioned I am. I see a coffee maker, a coffee machine, well, a drip coffee machine or whatever it's called, and I am instantly thinking, I need a cup of coffee. Well, whatever I can say about Greek people is that every Greek person I've met, and I've met quite a few, is a fantastic person. They are the politest, the nicest, well, really friendly people in overall. And I'm not only talking about the bands
Don't do it, man.
that I got to interview.
No, that place will make you drop weight immediately.
I think it'd be a good opportunity. Beat up on those fuckers, get FaceTime with Isaac.
Yeah, I think they're life-loving people, and they
And they're fucking
they
crying.
seem kind of a humble.
I'll be fine.
Alright. Well, I'll put a word in for you.
Appreciate it.
Let me give you some advice.
Shoot.
I knew this could happen. Woohoo, what an achievement. Gotten blown up by myself. Fucking great.
Go! I'll keep them busy!
Don't you fucking dodge on me, you motherfucker. to the balls.
Oh God, please. Take it easy.
Mercy or not?
Wait, just wait!
Mercy or not? Vote.
Please.
Vote.
Please.
Vote.
Don't. Please, don't.
Yeah, Greek
Alright,
black metal is definitely
alright,
something different.
You don't have to do this.
Yes, we have. We are evil. We listen to black metal.
No, wait! Fuck. See any more? No.
I don't think
How many
Agathos
guys
is
did they
that
send looking for
great.
you?
But early Redding Christ,
Too many.
for example, and this Yoth area, which just came out, I hope you checked it after my review because I really think it's great stuff. Yeah, it died already, so too late for mercy parts. But thank you for voting anyway. Necromantia, you have Varathron, you have Zemial, you have Kavir. I mean, not necessarily my favorite type of black metal overall. I think I listened to it, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that I downloaded it at some point. Like a couple of weeks ago. Well, Kavir is not too great, I admit, but it has a certain kind of unique feeling. But really, to be honest, I'm not a big Greek black metal fan. But I mean, I really like what they're doing with their own sound. But my favorite Greek black metal band would be Raven Cult. I know, horrible name, but good band. Alright, Chesney. Thigh Darkened Shade. Sounds familiar, but I really can't get that into my head right now. Portuguese black metal scene is interesting, but I really don't find most of the bands from there very interesting. And yes, Ravencult, it does. It is quite Nordic sounding. Probably a lot of Dark Throne inspired or something. But I mean, I really can't deny, I like it a lot. Inner Helvete. That name sounds quite stupid, to be honest. Hey, workbench time. Now, which gun to upgrade? Scope, maybe? Can we have scope? Say yes. Scope. Finally. Well, I hope to finish this game on stream. I mean, I tried to do more streams for this particular game rather than just on Saturdays. But I haven't been really playing so much as I wanted to. For example, I had like a couple of hours yesterday. I was like, yeah, I have 2 to 3 hours. But then I was, fooling around with my new car. Then I ended up watching a little bit Black Mirror. Then I did a video about Steel Chaos 2020, one other review video, and some other stuff on Rauta. And then suddenly I was like, hey, I don't have any more time to play anymore. So, sometimes I lose my game time because I'm focusing on some Rauta stuff or whatever. Näseblad. Isn't that like noseblood? To be honest, I think most Portuguese bands are very raw black metal and quite demo-ish in so many ways. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's kind of acquired this kind of thing. Portuguese scene, anyway, what I've heard, and I've heard I think quite a few bands, not reviewed most of them anyway, is that the overall sound is kind of a strange and raw, and it's not easy to approach as Swedish or Norwegian black metal bands. But definitely Portuguese scene is different and interesting because it's not just, copycatting the Nordic sound. But many bands, most Portuguese bands I've heard are very raw in style. Kind of a lo-fi production and stuff like that. And sometimes very interesting ideas with the riffs and compositions. So it's definitely not for everybody. It's not like your next Marduk or Darkthrone or Burzum or whatever. But they have the kind of own sound as much as, say, Greek black metal has its own sound and feeling. Nothing interesting there anymore. Gotta say, those bands with like In Thigh Flesh or Thigh whatever, they're like stupid names most of the times, and not really, not really names like, hey, this inspires me because the name is so great, but more like the opposite. Like, I mean, if you have a shitty band name, that is not exactly helping you to check out the band. Because the first thing, anyway, that comes to my mind is like, so if you have a shitty band name, you're not gonna have great lyrics. Uh, Brutal Dozer, I don't know if that applies to all countries, but for example, in Finland and Sweden, there are a lot of bands in many, many, many cities and towns. So on average, something like that.
More company.
Same way the deserters get out. Fuck. If they don't want to be here, then they don't want to be here.
They're fucking traitors. Place was scarred. I saw something. I'll see what it was.
I mean, of course, acoustic guitar is part of the Nordic 1990s black metal sound. think about dissection. Think about battery. I think acoustic guitar parts should be like mandatory things. Yeah, Chesney. There was even kind of some kind of stupid competition in Finland about that, like which city is the most metalized in Finland. So yeah, Finland is on the first place, bands per capita. And you have to understand that even with that amount of bands created, there are a lot of bands that were created but created no music or didn't get released. I mean, Finns have this habit. Let's go to a bar, have a few drinks, and then after a few pints, you're already making a new project. I heard Tom is a great guitarist. I like his attitude. Let's start playing this kind of a death trash band. But you already have a black metal band. You already have a death metal band. So you already have a fucking funeral doom band. Yeah, but I need a death trash metal band. Okay, Tommy, let's do it. Oh fuck, we have some clickers here. Run! Oh, boom! Headshot. Which part do we know were an accident? You mean like created accidentally? Yes, Bulldozer. I tried in earlier stream to play some black metal riffs, but I couldn't.
All right.
After binge drink, it's hard to tell really because sometimes bands tell the honest story about how they were founded, and sometimes they don't. I mean, sometimes bands don't necessarily want to admit that it was all of because of excessive drinking. So sometimes, people like, yeah, we had this great meeting and blah blah blah, even though they mean we were just drinking with Jim and Bob, and then we had this idea of creating this band. And sometimes these are all forgotten. But let's just say there are lots of bands that got created but maybe didn't record anything or didn't publish anything. And that doesn't only apply to Finland. I mean, for example, I'm sure bands like, I think it's called Distractor from Norway, Distractor with K, I think, with some enslaved and Dimmu Borgir members kind of playing shitty trash band or something. I'm pretty sure it was created because of excessive drinking, you know? So they did only one album, and it's really, I guess, the most horrible album these guys have ever
What's with all the
created.
rainbows?
it really can't be
See
something
what you
of
can find around here.
sober nature.
Ellie, look.
So lots of these ideas, I'm very convinced, were created because of drinking. But
It's us, right?
sometimes those things don't fly. I mean, when you're drunk, you might think that this certain
Come
idea
on.
is very good.
Stay focused.
And the
You're
next
right.
day, you're like, nah, I'm not gonna call that guy. So it's basically like any other relationship. You might think that this girl you met in a bar is great girlfriend candidate when you're drunk and you just wanna get laid. And later on, you're like, no way, I'm not gonna meet that bitch.
These WLF guys went up against the military over a decade ago. Why are they still so amped? There can't be that many trespassers that come through here. I don't know. The city still looks like it's filled with supplies. I can't see why people would need a fight over it.
12 duct tape runs compared. Excellent. Well, yes, definitely alcohol has its place. It's a social lubricant, but it's also a great way to kind of loosen up with the art in question. And as such, many writers, or in general creative people with music or books or whatever, use substances. Alcohol is no exception to that. And to be honest, I really don't find absolute people, the people who are anti alcohol, anti drugs, and all that stuff, I don't find they're very trustworthy. You know, I think that's just a load of bullshit. People who don't use any substances at all, or have problems with substance abuse, they are not to be trusted. Not junkies either, but people who can handle their shit in a moderate fashion. Because people who cannot handle alcohol probably have other issues as well. Well, exactly. Like I said, moderate amount. And many great friendships wouldn't have happened without what we call in Finland king alcohol. So I'm not praising that people should be drinking excessive amounts or, drinking at all. It's totally fine to be just, without drinks. But people who have problems with that, well, they are not to be trusted. And sometimes what I find really hilarious with some of the white power, white supremacy people is that how they praise that they are not using any substances. For example, I heard from
Maybe we could
one
head down there.
Finnish NSBM
Yeah.
guy that there was this guy, I think in Sweden, who had like white power, no white powder, or something like that kind of slogans, like praising about no substance abuse. And then he got caught snorting some coke. So, I mean, sometimes this no substance thing is just a fake shit thing. So once again, I'm stating people who are like anti-drugs, anti-booze, and saying this kind of like don't do this, blah blah blah. They are not to be trusted. People who admit that they have tried or are willing to try some shit every now and then, that can I trust. But people who are in total denial of any kind of substance, it's a kind of a warning sign. And of course there can be straight NSPM bands, but I doubt they are not that straight. That's my point here. They can be saying that they're straight, but doesn't mean that they are necessarily. What's a shapeshifter?
Man, can't believe this whole area is gonna be empty soon.
I still don't understand why the fuck we're falling back.
We're not falling back.
Yeah, closet gaze is another good example of that same stuff.
Move in! Got her trapped!
Over here!
I'm gonna fuck you up. Yeah, I should interview Rauta. They were playing actually at Steelfest.
They're gone! Fan out. Search the area. Right in here!
Now I don't have a gun. Well, that's a good thing. Yeah, Ukrainian and Russian ladies. I mean, crazy hot sometimes. But they are also crazy hot maintenance, what I've heard. So, unless you're rich or something like that, no chance. Because they do know their value. Yeah, it's killer combination and usually out of our league. I'm totally out of ammo. Alright, more zombies. Fuck me.
Think that's them? We'll go see what's up. Pretty sure I heard them. Sean, we'll see what's up. Okay, that's my six. Don't see anything.
Yeah, kebab can totally ruin your life. Zombies.
The hell they go?
Necrofilth. Can't say that name rings a bell.
Don't let them escape.
Fuck, I'm totally out of ammo. Yeah, I mean, when you have this kind of a conviction, I mean, it's great if you can actually keep doing with it. I mean, I really don't agree with NSPM stuff, but I can still appreciate,
I'll see what's up.
you know, the efforts of these people, their commitment and all that stuff.
I got nothing.
Yeah, to be honest, tacos and kebab and shit like that are more meaningful to me than these NSPM views. Maybe those bombs were actually useful in order to get rid of these goddamn zombies. If you like some elder stuff, maybe you will love Mom's Taco. The hairy taco. Like, I think it was later with some live speech with necrophiliac song. There's some people who like older women. This song is about them. Necrophiliac. Sometimes this game is kind of hilarious that you might be spending way more time with scavenging for parts and whatever versus, you know, actually killing anything. What had Mr. Rauta drank today? Well, one sour beer and lots of water, protein shakes. Because like I said, I'm driving to my summer cabin after this stream to sleep there for the night. Can't really afford having booze. Maybe I could have a little bit whiskey. Actually, I guess now would be a good time. Well, Dozer, you are hitting the jackpot. That is one of the most debated thing among Finnish black metal scene. You know how black metal people wouldn't be allowed by 1914 1940s Nazis. I mean, if the original Nazis came here to, have a government, they wouldn't allow black metal people to be there. What the fuck is matah? You're using some weird American words here. Because you have this multicultural food thing going on. What the motherfucker is there? Well, you have all the cultured food. I mean, America itself is like the very epitome of cultural. What do you have it in appropriation or whatever? All right, thanks, Devin. I don't think I've ever eaten any Jewish food. I don't know any Jewish people. My friend used to date a Jewish girl, and it was a bizarre case because this girl, for instance, liked to be subdued or something like that, burned with cigars and shit. And what I really find very funny about like how United States is having this problem with, get the foreign people out. Do they mean like give the country to Native Americans? Gen X, don't you know that Cosmic is in fact a robot? He's just a bunch of algorithms here to piss everybody off. That's why he's so sarcastic, or should I say it. So, it's just a robot. Don't mind it. And that's also why it hates other people on the stream so much, because it's not really alive. And as such, it hates the concept of, living beings. Well, that's my point exactly. Now it's speaking this official computer language, 8-bit style.
Check the building. Copy that. I think that's him. We've got them!
Yeah, binary code. That's my favorite. You're ruining my horror experience here because you're making such comical comments here. America might be a cauldron of shit, but I still have enjoyed my trips to the United States of America, and I've met some great American people during my trips there.
I think we've got them. I'm on it. What? Right there!
Well, actually, I had a couple of what you call them, the kind of a jump scare moments. But yeah, I usually don't panic when I'm gaming, but sometimes I'm kind of like, what the fuck?
We might have them. I'll go check it out. Down there! Don't let her escape! Get behind them! They went over there!
Could I sneak up on that motherfucker? Give me some motherfucking bullets. I don't know. Each and every country has some assholes. Last band that hit really that hard. Let me think about it. Yeah, New York is fucking it's so fucking awesome. I meant to say. I've been there 3 times and I really like the city. I don't know why, but I really do. Last band, like a new band, probably Morgal from Finland. Because they were like vicious, live, and also, well, on that an MLP, mini LP. What else? I gotta think about it. Harlot, the thrash metal band. I found maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I find that really enjoyable. What else? I'm thinking of newer bands. Well, Asagraun, the Dutch female fronted black metal band. I really love their debut, and the second album is very good as well. So that as well, and I guess Cryptomok, a Finnish black metal band that now came out with the debut album and also released a nice mini release a couple of years ago. The ex-Horna guy. I think those at least. A new Archcode. Why we need a new Archcode? You mean a new Archcode album? Yeah, but Cryptomok is way better than Horna. So I would say, yeah, Horna is decent, but Cryptomok is better. Because Horna has some not so great ones and also some great ones. Really, Cosmic? You really that big fan of Horna? Well, alright. Female women, what are you talking about? So why couldn't find any bullets if that guy is clearly
All quiet.
holding a
You
gun?
good? Yeah.
But Asakaram, that female-fronted um, black metal band, that is one of the better newer ones. And Neo and Oceans, I think that's a good one. I think it's maybe the second best album by And Oceans. My review is out soon. Yeah, Bulldozer, world has been quite crazy for some time. But luckily good music is coming all the way. And Cosmic, yeah, that's I think the best Horna album ever. Yes, Speggeli, that is Spellgoth, he's a friend of mine. By the way, one of the first interviews ever on Rauta, that baptism slash Horna interview. So in case you haven't seen it, people should watch it. Spellgoth is a great guy, mostly known for his job as a Horna vocalist, but also because of Trollheimsgrot and also for Turmion Kätilöt and, well, other bands as well. He used to have this one black metal band, which did only one album, I think. Kind of an industrial black metal. Can't really get the name in my head right now. It was early 2000 something. And Horna guys in general, they're good guys.
Hey,
All of them.
I think it's this way.
Fyrfing. Yeah, I remember they doing kind of a folky, epic Viking stuff. But yes, Pelgoth, or Tuomas, like I call him, he's a really, really nice, polite, great guy. Cosmic, you do know those names in what they mean. Darkwood's Betrothed is that band which has this called Moose vocals. Well, Brutal Dozer, I've known Satanic Warmaster's Lauri since 90s, so I mean, I knew him before he made Satanic Warmaster. I mean, I knew him from the days when he was still Horna vocalist and didn't have so many other projects. I mean, he did have Pest and some other bands, but he was back then mostly known with Horna back in the days. And I actually once shared a stage with Werewolf when he was still doing vocals for Horna. I was as a guest vocalist for Slayer's Slayer song, Black Magic, I think it was. Anyway, Cosmic, if you need me to translate you some of these lyrics or album names, just let me know. Ania Yössä means literally like voices in the night. So nocturnal voices, pretty accurate. So yeah, meeting Lauri or Satanic Warmaster was nothing out of ordinary for me because we've known each other since the 90s. He has this special kind of humor. He's a great chap. Sometimes hard to understand his humor, maybe. But yeah. And yeah, Finnish is one of the hardest languages in the world, or that's what I've been told, and that's what I've read about people learning it. Bulldozer, did you watch the video I actually made a couple of weeks ago about summer music or how seasons affect our music? because I think I explained. For example, my June classic review album. Yes, David, I get it here from Finland. Uh, my my classic album for June is actually thrash metal album. Arni is like an old tree. I think. Alex, I think you should start with that Evangels of Satan from Horna. I think that's the best one. That's just me, but I think that's the best Horna one. Uh, yeah, that's what I said. Evangels of Satan, which is Evat Nox. You know how it is. That is the best one. And to tell you a little bit how hard Finnish language can be, it's easy to give you as an example, like how many Finnish-speaking people actually have grammar problems with Finnish language. You know, they don't know how to write these words properly. Viha ja viikate means something like hate and scythe. Doesn't actually make so much sense, but Viikatemies is our version of Grim Reaper. Literally translates as the scythe guy, or guy with a scythe, or scythe. But yeah, I think Horna is like the basic Finnish black metal band. And I don't mean any disrespect by that, but I'm just saying it's like so many ways kind of like the
We got to the other
average
side of the
Finnish
checkpoint.
black metal band.
Now what?
I mean, if you took parts like faster parts, the melodic parts, the kind of a satanic feeling, so it's like it's kind of a typical Finnish black metal album. It kind of has all the elements, both good and bad, of what Finnish black metal is all about. So in that respect, Horna is like it's like this Finnish mayhem. No, not maybe mayhem, but like Finnish Dark Throne or something like that.
Hey, Tina.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they have
Give me your
this.
hand.
They kind of their own style. I mean, the balance between being melodic, being kind of aggression, and being catchy,
Hey,
having
that
this kind
round
of
building. It
hateful
looks like the TV station from
vocals.
your map.
I mean,
Yeah.
Horna has gone
Come on.
through a few vocalists and always been able to find the next good guy. I mean, there is no bad or even mediocre Horna vocalist in my opinion. They're all a little bit
I don't know
different,
how I would have done all this
but
without
they
you.
all are also
Look at
good.
you.
And
Shut up.
whenever a person,
I never would have let
you
you do this
know,
by yourself.
leaves
glad I made
Horna,
you.
you know, to pursue his own bands, well, they end up being good. Take a look at Lauri, or Nazgul won Armageddon from Horna, and he ended up doing Satanic Warmaster and other bands. Take a look at Corvus, who ended up doing Gorgonthurus. And obviously, Spellgoth has Trollheimskrot and other bands. Um, well, I think Spellgod is because I mean he has this Turmion Kätilöt past. And those who don't know Turmion Kätilöt as a band means that it was basically this kind of techno pop music with kind of black metal imagery. And not everybody could just like it because it was kind of a mainstream in so many ways. And also because Spellgod is flirting with homosexuality, uh, and because he's kind of a cheery guy, he's not posing to be this super evil or cool guy like think of Satyr of Satyricon. So I think Spellgod is just so real, so true, so honest and open about it. You know, being this friendly, nice chap and flirting with
Oh shit!
taboos. So I think
What the fuck
that's
was that? I ran into a
why
trap.
Spellgod
A
can
what?
be a little bit
Explosive
disliked.
traps. Watch where you're walking.
And about the old school black metal formula, I mean, it depends where we are talking about 90s or 80s stuff. And yeah, Devin, that's my point. Spellgod is very, very true and very honest about it. I mean, he's not posing to be this fake ass black metal personality. Well, that's how I see it anyway. I think he's a great guy. And Techno Project Turmion Kätilöt, I actually reviewed it recently. Turmion space K A with dots TILO with dots T. Turmion Kätilöt. Really can't explain it better than that on this stream. Well, there Devin said it. Musically, really not my type of band. I never liked techno music. I really can't stand it. Uh, I never hated the band, even though they were kind of mainstreamish and flirting with taboos and sex topics and blah blah blah. But I mean, at least it wasn't this kind of a safe space pop hit song stuff. And Spellgod used to be a vocalist for this band for a lot of years. So played a lot of gigs, and I guess to the bigger audience, got to be known as this Turmion Kätilöt guy. In a way, Turmion Kätilöt is like kind of a Finnish version of Rammstein, but more techno. You know, it's not really industrial. It's very kind of a techno pop with this black metal type of corpse paints, if you will. But they are doing this kind of how to say kind of a naughty way, you know, having sex there all over, and you know stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I totally understand why people like it, but it's really not musically not my cup of tea. So, like said, it's in a way kind of a Finnish Rammstein, both good and bad. So I guess it's easy to understand why people like that kind of stuff. And you know, there are people who are not metal at all and still might like Turmion Kätilöt because it's really that mainstream. For example, the local powerlifting gym I go to, uh, there was this playlist which basically had like Five Finger Death Punch, Turmion Kätilöt, and bands like Disturbed and Wallbeat or something like that. So it really should tell you how metallic that band is or what kind of audience it is getting.
I think we gotta get down this.
So yeah, it's the type of techno. Well, no, I mean, doesn't matter if there's this playlist done at the gym. The gym is great, and you can really, I don't know, play like ball thrower there. There's this kind of a Android tablet on the wall where you can just tap
This
in
Leah
your
chick?
favorite music from
What if she's
YouTube.
gone by the time we get there?
So, for example,
I don't want to
my
think
good
about that
friend
right
was
now.
doing some squats listening to B Hexen. Nobody was pitching. I sometimes put some
We
ball
should put some
thrower
of those
or
tripwires up there, Jackson.
Manowar or
Might be a
stuff
good way
like
to deal
that
with the hordes.
when I do.
Yeah,
I'm
could be
just
smart.
saying that these
But
people who run
probably
the gym,
blow
which
up some
are world
stragglers.
class powerlifters, by the
We'll put
way,
up
and
signs
as such, the
warning them.
the
What if they
lady
can't
of the
read?
place is bigger than
We'll make drawings.
that Abby
Like a foot
character
tripping
in
over
this
a
game,
wire and then big
and
foot.
also
I bet I could
bigger
build them.
and more powerful
I like you.
than most
I like
guys I
Meridian.
know. Roderick, Two Times
I met
Terror
this guy
is,
once
I
from
think,
the
a
Joels.
spin-off of
Tripwired a
Turmio
whole town.
Kätilöt. Just
How do
worse.
people get around? It was just him.
Cosmic, yeah, kinda. I mean, there's a
Wait, he
tablet,
lived alone in an
like an
entire
Android tablet.
town? He had trust
It's like
issues.
installed in the
That's
wall, and
sad.
you can just
Kept him alive.
play whatever YouTube music you
It's not
want
like you
from
have
there.
to choose between being alive and being close to people. It's not black and white.
That's good, little
You take a
evil.
risk,
I
though,
like that.
right?
Golf
You
workout
take a bigger
is
risk being
good, and
alone.
it can be really painful. Like a
What if
few
he got hurt?
years ago,
What if he
when
got
we
sick?
were traveling with my
What happens
family
if
in
someone else gets
Milan,
hurt or
Italy,
sick?
and
Then
I
there's this
decided to
added,
do some
burden that puts you in a
volume
worse
calf
position.
training by the
Yeah, I guess that's
sandbox.
also true.
Like 100 reps with my own weight. And fuck, for 2 days I could barely walk. It felt like my calves were just aching so much it's gonna burst. It was so fucking horrible. Now that I did something like quite a bit of weight after my squats on my leg day on Wednesday, I could barely feel any kind of pain in my calves. Alex, now why the fuck would I drag that tablet away when I can play ball thrower and shit like that? Like, are you not aware that you can find whatever music on YouTube and play it at that gym? It's not jukebox, it's a tablet computer, you know? You know what tablets are, right? You know what YouTube is.
Hey, look. Who do you think it is? Someone who wants us to feel her love. You think she's related to the wolves? I don't know. It's kind of fucking weird. Holy shit. These were all shot. Hey, look. It's Tommy's. Infected did a number on this one.
And most commercial gyms actually have it worse, because they just have a fucking radio playing some pop, whatever music. And that's when I use my
You
headphones.
okay? Yeah, sorry, it's just the smell. Alright.
Yeah, I don't really have guilty
Must have taken
pleasure.
enough
I
of
think
it.
it's kind of a stupid term because,
You
I
okay to
mean,
keep going?
when I enjoy something, I don't have this guilty feeling. I just either like something or then I don't. And I don't give a fuck if that's some weird ass genre or whatever, So, to be
How'd
honest,
this
I don't
city
have
get so
guilty
wrapped?
pleasures. I only have pleasures.
Boston wasn't like this, was it? Boston didn't have a full-blown civil war. Fireflies never
So
put up
weird
with strong
favorites.
resistance.
Ladytron, maybe? If you know the band, Ladytron. Playing kind of a Depeche Mode's kind of a, I don't know
see
what
any
it's called.
wolves.
Just kind of a
No.
dark pop music, I guess.
Not count our chickens, though.
Well, yeah, Rain Chaos is not that good, but I guess we
You
already
see the TV station?
had that discussion
It's that way.
in the previous stream.
Uphill. Whoa. More bodies.
I still
More
can't
shot
get
bodies.
out of that idea that
Tommy
Rain
definitely
Chaos
came this
is
way.
in flames with pentagrams.
I bet he went through there.
But that's just me. I'm not saying I'm right about it. I am just saying that it's not too good an album.
Stop.
In the name of
Tripway.
love. Stop in the name of love. That's what she was
Thanks.
saying.
They're all over. Probably for infected. Still. One wrong step. Yeah. Let's be careful.
Sometimes I might like some weird individual songs,
Probably don't
though.
cut through here much with all this. There's that silver lining.
So maybe that could count as a like
This tall grass is making me nervous.
guilty pleasures. Like,
Yeah, they're getting
for
tricky to
example,
see.
like I could enjoy totally some individual Phil Collins tracks. Jonas, Leviant the leavings at your own gym. And I thought it was purely a Finnish thing. Leaving the leavings. Well, that's a weird thing. Well, yeah, but Phil Collins is better drummer than Dissection drummer, so there's nothing wrong with liking that. Expect some zombies. Poor bastard.
Are you okay? Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, I don't really, at this age anyway, and stuff like that, I'm not embarrassed about stuff I like. Actually, sometimes it's really nice to drop names which make people like weird and confused, like, what? You really like that shit? And I'm like, yeah, and I'm fucking proud about it. But I'm thinking about it. Really, I can't get in my head if there's some. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. If there is some weird names, I will let you know. And because I mean I spent my youth
Oh, damn it.
uh, in the 90s, sorry 80s. Obviously, I have some soft spots here and there. Best video game music, I would like to say GTA 4, The Lost and the Damned, because there were some Bathory and Cannibal Corpse and D-side with that soundtrack. But then again, I really do like some computer games and movie soundtracks. So maybe some of these soundtrack musics are even better. Hard to say, but in a way, I wanna say it's that they lost and the damned. So last 6 digits. Six five 5501, right? Or is it missing some numbers? What the fuck is oral vampire? What I'm not getting with this combo then. Turricans, there was some great games. Let's see once again this code. Or is there supposed to be a third number? Or actually ninth? This is probably some American thing. Fuck me and guessing these codes. That's a good one, Marcus. That's like the kind of humor I would say. Thank you, Cosmic. But how would those... I mean, how am I supposed to find those last three numbers in this game? Surely it's not like people will be guessing this right out of random. Yeah, I guess so. Thank you anyway. Thank you, Cosmic. What do you mean, Devin, this is the reason? You mean get help? Or whatever? Because, I mean, obviously I could Google it myself if I wasn't doing a stream. Now I obviously... It feels like I wouldn't be Google... I mean, it would be kind of lame. Oh, here it is, the number. Now we have. Call Stacy. Now it's the number is right here. So it wasn't much of a puzzle. I was just too lazy. And yeah, I mean, if I was playing by myself, I probably would have Googled by myself, but it would look rather dumb that I am Googling here and the characters are just staring at the wall. And now I'm gonna check out what the time is, because I guess I need some whiskey, because... Oh, great, it's already 1 a.m. Now I'm gonna step up for a second and I'm gonna take some whiskey before it's too late. Hey Natalie, welcome on board. So it's fucking hot here, you know? I'm almost naked here and still like fucking sweaty pig. And I don't know if having some whiskey will actually help this, but at least it will make my life a little bit less sorrowful. Because why the fuck not? And I'm sorry that you have to hear me swearing so much, because I know you're all decent Christian people who just dislike swearing. But I mean, it is when you're handling your time with some Finnish metalheads. Yeah, I guess it must be even more super hot where you live, considering it's more south from this part of the world. I think, Devin, let's be honest about it. You're gonna spank your monkey for Jesus, not that Jesus is going to spank you. We all know that's how he goes. And by the way, I'm totally pro masturbation, so I'm not gonna judge you if you touch yourself while watching for some Jesus pictures. I'm pretty sure that most people who just follow the channel won't realize that my streams are so fucking weird in terms of language and all. And that's how it's supposed to be. These are for the adults only content, not your happy-go-lucky reviews. The carefree parts. This is where I shame myself and everybody along the way. Right? Have I understood correctly how this is supposed to go? Now this game is handing me way too much ammunition. So it seems like it's preparing me for a fight. Am I right? What? This is not Disney budget channel. I got it all wrong then. I mean, Disney should totally fund me. Yeah, Marcus, I like to think that we're in the same bar with this kind of a social distancing. To be honest, I've never been a fan of Disney. I mean, I don't hate them. I think they have made, in a way, some cool cartoon movies and all that stuff, but in general, I dislike Disney politics. For example, think about Pirates of the Caribbean. They're pirates who don't kill, who don't swear, who don't drink, who don't fuck. So, I mean, like, basically, they're all but pirates. They're supposed to plunder and pillage and all that shit. And instead, what the fuck they are doing? Nothing. So it's like Disney is doing it's all kind of perverse stuff.
More of this stuff.
Huh.
But still, I mean, I grew up with Marvel comics, so obviously I'm gonna check out some of Marvel movies, even though they are owned by Disney. I grew up with Star Wars, so obviously I'm gonna watch those Star Wars stuff, even though they are more or less blasphemed by Disney. And like I said, they have some cool cartoon movies, but still, overall, me and Disney not very compatible. It's like if I was a gay person, Disney was this hot chick, and like, yeah, I basically wanna fuck you, but no. Or the other way. Me being this boring straight guy, and Disney is this most gorgeous Orlando Bloom Brad Pitt hybrid. And I'm like, technically, you're so hot, I'm supposed to fuck you, but no.
There's a TV station.
I'm sorry, Roderick, but Corona is like piss.
I don't think we can get around this one.
Hang on.
Recommend the most fearful record.
Well, how else were we gonna get through?
Depends how you
someone
define
heard that?
fearful.
Was pretty loud.
Like darkest
Keep your
album,
eyes peeled.
the most horrifying stuff, most brutal stuff. Because I could recommend you a number of, say, dark ambient albums, which are way more darker than most metal ever. Hello, Will It Hurtin? Sadisticator. Where is Sadisticator from? Yeah, Bloodhammer is great, and
Shit.
those
Stay
Bloodhammer
down there.
guys
These stairs are wired up.
are
Can you
also
detonate them?
great guys.
Not here.
And Bloodhammer is a good band. Yeah.
We're not being subtle right now. Maybe Leah will come to us. Yeah. Or they might be waiting to ambush us.
Southern California. Blood Angel from California. Great. California being one of my favorite places to visit. I mean, been to places like San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, some smaller city between San Francisco and Los Angeles. I've really enjoyed my time in California. I wish I could go back to Muscle Beach, do some work out there, eat those burgers, go for a swim, meet, people from suicidal tendencies. Then I could listen to some, I don't know, death metal. Bethlehem is really, really dark. I agree. Not afraid of it. Yeah, it's not an album to be afraid of, but it has this kind of a haunting feeling. So that's true. Alex, I would say try some dark ambient and listen to it loud without headphones if you can. In the middle of night where things are really dark. Bands like Yenpox, Kerovnian, Lustmord, Inade. Things like that. Will it hurting? Riverside and San Diego. Cool. Sounds like a place worth visit. But I think dark ambient is way more darker and more fearful stuff than any black metal ever. I can only imagine that suicidal tendencies feeling there, but because they are so
There it
captivating band.
is. Stay low.
The feeling with suicidal tendencies on stage with the
Feels empty.
kind of aggression and kind of a
I don't buy
hardcore
it.
mentality
You see
with
what I mean?
suicidal tendencies. I really like it. And Mike Moore is one of the coolest persons I've ever met in metal. BSOD. Now I gotta say I don't recall at the moment what is that acronym standing for. Like bullshit overdrive or bullshit something else.
Maybe we could climb up?
Bullshit overdose. That would be a not great, but a band name. All right, okay. I don't think I have heard. Yeah, I wish I could check a band every time somebody gives me a tip about it. The fact is, my review CDs are about 159 at the moment, and I have roughly maybe 30, 40 more coming during the summer. So I'm like being a busy fucking bee.
Fuck. Ugh, it's brutal. Tommy, I
That
guess?
this is brutal.
Let's get
This ain't
inside.
brutal. This is no brutal death metal. Over 50 projects and bands. That makes no sense. I usually think that artists should focus on like one or two bands at any given time because otherwise it's just, creating mediocre ones. Releases only tapes. Well, that is probably why I haven't heard the music. I mean, I know the name, but doesn't really ring any bells that I would actually have heard it. Also vinyl, okay. And soon Cosmic will say something like, "Oh, yeah, I was expecting Cosmic to comment because he was like, Tape people unite!" Oh, Gen X and Alex going for a drink at bar. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. I'm sure you have this kind of a BDSM thing going on with tapes. Yeah, sometimes dark ambient and black metal make a great marriage. But to be honest, I think most black metal heads don't know how to make proper ambient. Well, you should get a room or something with this tape gang. Because I haven't heard Enemite. Alright, good night, Gen X. Enjoy your beers with Alex. And it was fun to have you here for some talks. Drink some beers for me as well. I would love to drink a few beers right now, but because my task is to drive my car. Fuck that. Kiev bottles. Kiev. Sweat lodge. It sounds like a sauna. Where are all the fucking empty bottles?
Fuck. Be careful.
Come, come, come to the Sabbath. Come to the Sabbath. Satan's there. There's a typo in Cosmic. It should say rabbit, not rabbi. Because I know you like rabbits. Cutie rabbits. If I was a Jewish rap artist, my artistic name would be Rabbi T. Yeah, but that mean they're like real cool black metal pets? Vermin, you know. Raven by vermin. There's even this band called from Finland called Rodent Epoch. It has to stand for something, man. Cocarucha. Have you actually, by the way, eaten rabbit meat? And if you have, what do you think about it?
Holy. This is definitely not Tommy.
Who the fuck did this?
I don't know. But it's a message.
I think we're gonna meet some cultists.
I hope not. Keep your eyes open.
Alright, fair enough. So, ammo is full in a survival game. This means war. I have some kind of a feeling that this will be some sort of a, yes, exactly, a boss fight time because of these alternate passages or kind of escape routes and lots of ammo. I fucking hate boss battles. They're usually way more stupid than the game on average. You know, for some nonsense bullshit reason, this boss creature has huge amount of hit points or health bar or whatever, and it's just, you know, breaking the game logic. But we need to have these boss battles. Why? Because the gamers require them. Why? I don't know why, but we need to have boss battles.
Another body up there. I don't like this. We're too exposed.
We have to search all of it. I want to find Leah.
And boss battles without those like save points or whatever, really annoying. It's like as annoying as those albums with way too lengthy intros and outros, and you have to listen to them all over again because they were put into those tracks and you can't skip them unless you want to skip the whole song. Let me guess. Let's open this door or something, and soon the boss monster appears. All these routes definitely make me feel like this is a boss fight thing. And yeah, Natalie, you're totally right. So first you scavenge like some, I don't know, 20 minutes for some ammunition and shit, and then it's like showtime or something. Oh, cool. I think I would like ostrich meat if that's like turkey or something. And even more ammunition. Even more stairs. I'm still puzzled why there is Levi and the Leaving's music in some Norwegian gym. Levi and the Leavings is a Finnish kind of a, I don't know if you can call it rock music, but kind of like soft rock stuff, which is very well captivating the Finnish mentality, the melancholy and those sad stories, without being depressive or anything like that.
What is that?
Thanks, Alex. Oh, Jonas is still on the stream. I started to figure out maybe he went away, and I still got back to that topic. You don't live in Norway anymore. Moscow, Russia. Wow. Well, that's even more weird. Teuvo, oh, ota meidät kyytiin, oh. Yeah, Levin the Livings, it's kind of hard to describe that music for a non-Finn. But there's definitely something really, really Finnish about it. But since all the lyrics are in Finnish, obviously, probably won't make much of a sense. Yeah, Karelia, rock
That's
pop.
her.
I guess that's
Leah.
kind of a summing it up rather well.
You sure?
Yes. Guess the universe really wanted her dead, huh? There's nothing on her.
All you hear is Radio Gaga, Radio Goo Goo, Radio Last of Us, Radio Rauta.
This is 2. Do you copy? 6. Acknowledge. Over.
Dina.
Hmm.
It's all of them.
Hey, wait. That's New Jackson.
Look at their fucking smiles.
So
That's
people,
her.
since this guilty pleasure thing was mentioned
That's the one who killed him.
earlier, do you have any guilty pleasures you would like to confess and me to judge for you?
3 down, right?
And now suddenly people started to go away from the stream like, no, don't make me listen to these people's guilty pleasures.
To the TV station. Repeat. Support
Shit.
Unit India en route.
Yeah, we should
Over.
get going.
But yeah, I'm very interested in your guilty pleasures.
How do you feel?
Why do you hate Polaroids?
Yeah.
She didn't hurt Joel.
It would have been pretty fucked up to make her talk.
Anime
Hundreds of miles
openings.
to torture
Well,
him.
yeah,
don't
now
care
I can
whether she had
imagine
the club
that.
or not.
I get it.
You want to find somewhere to hole up? Look over Leah's stuff?
For sure. Let's head deeper into downtown. Can find a building to see.
Well, gotta say, Polaroids, perfect art. Hmm. What do you think of your Nordic tier list? Are you talking about the bands, or are you talking about countries, cultures, language? What exactly? If you say Denmark is the best metal country of all the Nordic countries, I'm a little bit peculiar. Why? Because Denmark has only like a handful of metal bands to begin with. Well, yeah, Danish culture is great, I guess. And they have Pølsen. Pølsen. Do you have Pølsen?
Shit. Get down.
Well, you actually have modern day Polaroid cameras. So technically they are back. And to be honest, Cosmic, it doesn't go like that. Actually, most Danish bands are not that good. I mean, I think they have a worse bad to good ratio than Sweden or Norway and Finland. Hello, scum. Drama game are the best game. Drama games. No drama is boring.
Shotgun. Downstairs.
Maybe I should just try this.
On our left. Heads up.
I heard something. We'll see what's up.
All right, be careful. What you got?
We're clear.
Hey, you were supposed to go a trap.
Right here!
Push forward!
On it!
Okay. Man,
I think that review drama is just bullshit.
back off!
And it really worked for the favor of the game. Because the more drama you have, the more people get interested in it.
Charlotte! Push in! Motherfucker! Stop them!
Oh, come on now. Yeah, no news is bad news.
Keep it up!
What is Nord job? Could be cool to visit Faroe Islands. I don't know. I said suck with this aiming. I think it's meant to do.
Up ahead!
I guess it's meant to be making this combat more dangerous in a way. Yeah, I guess so.
Coward!
Quiet.
Is this your plan?
The silencer was some, soda bottle thing, so it might have these colors. Yeah, it seems like weakerness is nowadays the kind of a black metal butthurt epitome.
And he's still
No.
standing?
Like
don't think
how he
so.
can be upset about like everything. Is he making
I hear
videos just
This
so
way.
that he can be upset about things? I think some of the videos were interesting, like the ones he was telling about history and stuff. But overall, I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, he also had very, very boring topics. But then again, someone could say I'm biased to say because Rauta, you too have very boring topics. At least Weakerness went on BitChute, but now somebody said that he's not doing videos by himself, but about his kids doing this video. Scum, indeed. But also, my drummer actually made a point that, and he's a big Burzum fan. My friend made point that, yeah, Vari totally needs to smoke some weed. It was a funny point that my friend said that Weakerness was showing off some riffs he made for, I don't know, Philosophem or whatever, and it said how he plays them with some cheap guitar bought at Lidl store, like some 100 euro guitar. But what he's in essence doing is playing those songs with some very expensive like more high-end guitar. So I don't know, like, what the fuck? Why would he say things like that? Yeah, I bought this guitar from Lidl for 100 euros or something, when he actually has some, I don't know, expensive BH Rich or something, you know? So it's weird. But yeah, he's a weird character indeed. And sometimes I think he uses all this stuff in order to make an excuse, not to do more Burzum albums. Devin, I don't know if it was a kind of high end, but definitely not some cheap one. The point was, it's like he was saying that he had this cheap guitar where it was in essence a rather expensive one. Alex, maybe. And yes, Cam, I agree. He's doing the politician kind of stuff. Talking about black metal people becoming politicians. You do remember maybe
Ellie, come on!
you probably remember Fenris being part of local politics.
We got them!
Ellie, through this window!
Let's run.
Ooh, Nina, we gotta run!
She's a little runaway. Ellie's gone through the cracks of hell today.
We gotta lose them! Oh, shit! All right. It'll work for now. Keep going.
Actually, Jonas, now that I remember it, I think my friend said it was a PV guitar which Vikernes had in that video. And
Masks.
at least according to him, my friend, who has multiple guitars, and I think he knows quite a bit about guitars based on how many guitars how many he has bought and sold. He said it was rather expensive guitar that what Vikernes had on this video showing off those riffs. But yeah, I think it was actually PV gear. Not 100% sure because I wasn't the one that spotted it on that video. But yeah, those videos basically, nevertheless, whatever Vikernes said about it.
We gotta keep moving.
And I mean, some of those videos were interesting, especially the historic parts when he was telling anecdotes and parts about how things were back in the 90s. Too bad that really I don't find Vikernes the most objective guy in the business. Let's load these ammos. What kind of material his wife does have?
There's a way through. I thought they had us. I know.
I have no idea what his wife is doing, so I'm just curious. So they're all about this self-sustaining thing. I kind of feel bad for their kids. I mean, they don't know how this social thing, how it will affect them. And they don't have a choice.
Damn it.
So which is it? Are these guards or trespassers?
What are you, deaf? Joe clearly said it.
Clickers. Watch yourself.
Fuck to these trespassers.
Scum, you mean you watched my NSBM video part 2?
We should just leave him down here for the infected to eat.
They killed Mike, man. That's reason enough. I heard they got more.
Holy shit.
Now let's wait if those clickers come there. Alright, Scum. How did you like it? Or have you watched both? Because there are now 2 NSBM videos out by me. Which team will win? These humans or clickers? What do you think? Alright, Scum. Thanks for letting me know. Oh, Cosmic is referencing here these 14 words. We must secure the non-existence of bad black metal bands. Oh, he's talking about Metallica now. Kill them all. Alright, Jonas, thanks for watching the video.
Derek! There's too many of them! Pull back!
Scum, yeah, I understand, it makes sense. Now I'm basically waiting for these bad guys to kill each other. Will the clickers win, or will those humans win? Will I get trapped? Now, beautiful, burning and shotgun.
You're gonna kill me, then get it over with. If you got the nerve.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker.
Bitch!
God damn.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with Metallica,
Okay.
so I totally would understand if
We
other
shouldn't hang out
people,
here for too long.
if other people
Grab
are
what you
also
can.
Metallica fans. Not the biggest fan of Kirk Hammett, but Metallica overall, especially the early years. I mean, it's great stuff. Yes, Devin, you can. And it doesn't matter if it makes you sound gay, at least you're being true. And I think it weighs more than being a poser of sorts. Sometimes I wish black metal guitarists were more Scott Ian and James Hetfield than what they are nowadays. If you get my drift. Yeah, this barbecue fight went in a nice way. Killing the clickers and those motherfuckers. I gotta say, while I can understand what fuck you Cosmic, you know perfectly well what I mean with the guitars. While I can respect totally, you know, the stuff that AC/DC have done, I never got to like the music. I remember kind of saying bad words about AC/DC to the main guy of Destroyer 666 at Wacken some maybe 10 years ago. I mean, like, man, don't you like the AC/DC? Well, obviously he was talking in an American way. Oh, AC/DC. Why don't you like AC/DC? AC/DC is so fucking brilliant. And I'm like, man, I don't like their recycled riffs and that kind of a weak guitar sound. And what's the time now? Should I get going soon? Yes, I need to get going soon. So, playing the final minutes of today for now. Anything you like to confess to Uncle Rauta before I go? Like if you wanna send pictures of your grandma, girlfriend, mother-in-law, or whoever, you can do it. Or name your guilty pleasures.
Dina.
Now it's the time.
Fucking move it!
No, Satan actually worships me.
Let's go. Yeah. Are you okay? Yeah.
I mean, if I could sell my soul to Satan, I would have done it a long time ago.
Yeah, let's get
Yes,
out of
Alex, feel free to send pictures. I didn't say they have to be alive, but I would prefer if they were like hot rather than obese and dying of heart attack because of the obesity. Yes, Jonas, I am going to kesämökki. Just in a few minutes, actually. Scum, you pretty much nailed it. By the way, Annihilatus actually has a song, Cut Your Flesh, also, so. Yeah, I could exchange my Soul for Tesla S model, preferably. The X model is a little bit too
This way's blocked.
bulky for me. I gotta say, I really like this game. I mean, I like the flow way more than the first one. But yeah, I guess my soul isn't exactly as
Maybe through here?
valuable as Tesla, so there you go. What would I do while my Tesla is driving itself? I would fucking stream a video from Rauta and do an endless stream chat from the car.
Did you hear what they kept calling us?
Thanks,
Scars.
Jonas.
I wonder if that's
I
what
will
they
travel
want
to
us
the
know.
Mökki. It's not too far away.
Gutted all those wolves.
So I will just eat some
Everyone in this city's a
high
fucking
protein
psycho.
quark
No shit.
so I don't lose all the muscle I made today at the gym. Because I did some good deadlifting today.
Fuck.
Metro, subway tunnels. Why it's metro at some place and subway at some other place? What's the deal here? Now I think it's a good way to stop. This is a good entrance place for a save game. So roughly 8.5 hours in. Somebody said this is roughly almost 30 hours, so maybe 1/3 of in it now. And sauna. Cosmic needs to do some proper sauna. All right, Scum, thank you for being on the stream as well as the others. I guess I'll talk to you another day, another evening. Playing this, you don't have to necessarily wait for next Saturday, which is very unlikely day for me to stream because it seems like I'm heading out with my friends to a pub after many months. So I might not be streaming next Saturday, but most likely I will be streaming some other days during the week. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Tuesday, not likely Monday. I don't know. But I'll keep you posted and follow those messages on YouTube and Facebook, and you're likely to find out when I'm playing and streaming and talk you some dirty shit. So, good day, good night, or whatever you're having. Take care, mates. Drink beer and don't get dehydrated. That's all, mate. Goodbye, Cosmic and the rest. Cheerio.